Okay, if you are trying to figure out how to add a generator interlock or a generator backup to your main breaker panel on your house, this is the video for you. I'm going to keep this super simple. I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you the inside of the panel and how everything is wired up. I'm going to give you a material list on what you would need, and then the comment section down below is going to be open if you have any questions or thoughts. I'm going to do my best to answer you, or I will get in touch with somebody who has the answers for you. With the times that we're living in, I think that this is a good need, a good thing to consider having. It is good to have backup power. Now, I'm going to call this a generator plug. This is a generator input plug, okay? However, this could be used not just for a gas generator, but also for a solar generator. And it's very similar to how I actually hook up these houses to begin with. So, I'm going to start with removing this cover. And that way I can show you what we got going on. Actually, real quick, I am going to go make sure the power is off, and that way when we get this panel off, we're going to test it. Okay, I have verified that the power is off to the panel. Once I get the panel off, I'm going to test it with my voltmeter. Okay, so pop this panel. I'm going to set the voltage to AC, and let's see, we're going to go to, we're going to pull our caps off so that way we can access. And I'm going to stick okay, so power's off. Now we'll get into the nitty-gritty on how this is set up. Okay. Down here is a generator interlock, or I'm sorry, this is the generator plug. This is a 50 amp RV plug, is what they're going to call that. I will put a link to all of this down below. So we got a 50 amp plug on an outdoor rated box because this is going to be outdoor. This would be for a gas generator. However, you could put this inside in a utility closet, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, and you could have your solar system, like a solar generator, inside. Okay? In order to do this safely and correctly, you are going to need a generator interlock. The way this functions is when it is in here, I should have showed you this before I removed it. When it is in, generator interlock requires that the main breaker panel be off in order to slide this interlock up and flip on the generator breaker. We're going to call it a generator breaker because a gas generator and a solar generator are going to be this one and the same, okay? When you flip this over, now you are providing power to both legs because this is a double pole breaker. You are supplying power to both legs in the breaker panel, which means it's going to the left side and right side of the breaker panel where your breakers are, okay? So we have interlock engaged currently. So this right here is our generator breaker. We're going to use a double pole 50. You need to open up your breaker panel and you need to see if your breakers are Cutler hammer or square D. If they're either or, whichever they are, Cutler hammer and square D are just a brand. You're gonna figure out which one they are, and then you need to buy a double pole 50 amp breaker. Even if you're using a smaller generator, you might as well just size this up and go with a double pole 50 and be done. That's as big of a plug as you're going to be able to get here anyways, okay? That double pole 50 is going to be wired in here with, I believe this is 6-gauge wire, but this is going to depend on the run. This might even be 8. This is going to depend on the run. We've got a very short run here, okay? We're going to come out of this double pole 50 with our 2 hots. This would be L1 and L2, or line 1 and line 2, okay? And this is what's going to give you a 2-phase or 240 volts in your breaker panel. You're going to run this down. Neutral is tied in with all of your neutrals, and your ground is tied in with your grounds. This comes down to your generator plug. That's all that there is to it. If you need backup power, you turn off your main, you flip up the generator interlock, you flip on your generator breaker, you plug in your generator here, let it warm up, and run your house. Now, on these off-grid systems, I'm going to go ahead and show you. We've used the same wire up here, okay, meaning it's the same gauge. It's a 6-gauge wire, okay, and that is going to another generator plug that we have inside the house. And the one inside the house, because this is all off-grid, the one inside the house is where we have our solar generator plugged in, which in this house we're using the Jackery 3600. On some of the other houses we've used Jackery 5000s, and still yet we might use the Jackery 2000 on some others. But the size of the solar generator doesn't matter so much as just go ahead and put in a 50 amp plug. Don't make it a 30. Make it a 50 so you got plenty of room to increase up to the max. And on an off-grid build like this, we're having that we're having that generator plug go in here and feed our main lugs on the breaker panel. That's how this one is set up. On your house, if you are on the grid, the line power coming in off of the electric line outside is going to come into your main lugs on your breaker panel, and so you will be able to add a generator interlock. If this is still not making sense, or I have missed something here, or you have a question, please leave it down below. I'll be happy to go through and answer that. But this just gives you a pretty quick rundown of the wiring and what we're dealing with here, how we set these up. The plug inside the house looks just like this. It's the same exact plug, same exact hardware and everything. I just have one inside to feed the main power on this breaker panel, and I have one outside that we can switch over to generator power if we need a backup. And you would be doing the exact same thing in your house. The only thing that would be different in your house is these breakers are probably all full, and what you could do is you would need to move those breakers down and open up 2 slots to the bottom right of this main breaker so that your interlock will work. There are 2 different styles of interlock. Make sure you order the right one for your panel, because sometimes they are non-returnable. The ones I use are Square D 100 and 125 amp interlocks, and then there are Square D 200 amp interlocks. The only thing different is the bracket itself. It does not affect what truly amperage wise can go through there. It's just how the breaker panel is laid out. So I'm going to put links to some of these items down below. If you have questions, thoughts, or ideas, please leave them down below, and I will do my best to answer them. I hope this helps you and has you prepared for storm season and any other things that may pop up in our world. All right, folks, until next time, Mountain Wizard out. See ya.